Yeah, coming to our next session, which we like to have a little bit of discussion on some of these beautiful and very useful yogic ideas or the concepts. I guess today I thought maybe I will have a discussion on few things that I really find quite amazing, quite transformating to it's almost like some of these mind practices, we call them the Jnana Yoga or the wisdom or the lifestyle of yogic attitude, can help us change our perspective, our attitude, and then our life energy itself. Now, whenever we are caught up in any stressful situation, any distressful situation, negative situation that we're not comfortable with, we're not enjoying, we naturally have the tendency to fall into the negative mindset, and then we sort of what we do, we get caught into this whirlpool of the negative thoughts and negative ideas and just keep going round and round and round, and which leads us into actually creating more stress. And when we caught into that whirlpool of our mind, even if we talk to somebody, we tend to cause more hassle, more stress than finding the actual solution. And one of the pure yogic practice, it talks us that whenever you are caught up into this inner dilemma or the mind field, the chittavrittis, try to create a little space for your own self. To me, the self-care, self-love, and what yoga says, do something about it. He says abhyasa, the practice. Now, he does not actually literally tell us what to do. He said do something about it. Now, for me, whenever I think that when I'm caught up into a negative thought, a negative idea or mindset, what works for me? Maybe go for a walk, or maybe listen or watch a comedy, or watch a favorite program that you really love watching, or have a nice hot bath, or go and see friends, go for a nice coffee and cake or tea and cake, or do a bit of hatha yoga practice, what we did today, do some sound work. So he says do something that helps you, enables you to process it. And to me, that also as a second perspective, whenever you caught up into the stress of life or situation, don't let yourself sleep in it, okay? When you go to bed, and one of the really great sadhu or the rishi, I remember he used to tell us this really simple story of unwinding ourselves. And he said unwinding ourselves is just like, when you go to work, or when you go out shopping or doing something out of your house, you dress yourself up nicely, you put your shoes on, you take your jacket, you take your hat, and now I don't like to add, but you might also take your mask in this situation. So you prepare yourself, then you take your bag in your hand, you get into the car or you get into the bus, however, then you get to the place, you do what you want to do, and then you come back. Now, if you reflect into all the process that we go through when we come back home, well, you can begin with you leave your car in the parking. Hopefully, you don't have that mindset that I have to take the car in my bed. Then you leave the shoes in your shoes room. Then you leave the jacket on where the jacket belongs. So the way you go back all the way to your comfortable space, your sitting room, by the time you get there, hopefully all that is not necessary to be with you, you let it go. And to me, when we look at these mind field, these mind situations, these mind games that we all are easily caught up in, whenever you come back to your own self, make sure that you are unwinding yourself, you are letting it all go. And that is, to me, that is the practice. Now, how you going to do it? You really need to look into your own life and find the one practice that works for you. For someone, hatha yoga practice, deep breathing, go for a walk, do some gym, some fitness exercise, meet with friends, whatever works for you, do that. Now, as we talk about unwinding, letting go, then the second step of the practice is finding the way to express it, finding the way to let it go. Now, what we normally do in our life, whenever we're feeling emotional, whenever we're feeling caught up into something, we tend to burst into the emotion and let it become anger or reaction, or that burst out and let it out on either people who have nothing to do with it. I've seen many people actually coming back home after a long day of work, and they get the anger out on the people they have nothing to even do with that stress that is there. Or we get it out on people who are around us, which doesn't help. So he talks about, the second step of once you've done what helps you to find a little clarity of your mind when you see a different perspective. Creating the gap. Then finding how do I express it, how do I channel it. So to me, when we talk about channeling it, we must remember or try to conceptualize that when you are dealing with something in your mind, whatever situation is, whatever the problem, the difficulty is, if there is a conflict, if you're dealing in your mind, you have to only deal with the one mind, okay? If you have spoken it out to hundreds of people, for you to heal that situation, you will have to heal everybody involved in it. Let's just think of you had a bit of conflict with somebody you're living in, and then the next thing you do is just put it out on Facebook and let everyone know, I have fallen out with this person. Now, by the end of the day, we realize that, that was a bit of silly thing really to do. And we bring a bit of flower back to the person we've had conflict with and say, I'm really sorry. And we make up for it. But you see, the problem does not stop there, does it? Because we have spread it out to so many other people. And whenever we're going to see them, they're going to remind us. And that starts to play on our ego. That why me? So we then that keep creating or keep bringing that stuff up again and again. So he says that whenever you need the catharsis, you need somebody to listen, somebody to talk to, we need to all make sure that we are talking to the right and appropriate person who can take it without judging us, without making us feel being judged, or without making us again constantly reminding of that pain or that emotion. So finding the way to release it, but in a way where it does not come back to you. People don't make that, I got your weakness, I got your problem. So we got to be so much more careful or mindful about where to talk about things. And then the third and most beautiful aspect is actually creating a sort of disassociation with the problems. Because that's a big problem we got in our modern time, because the way we all have been conditioned really is a constant stress, that doing, the action. There is no time to step back and relax. The minute you relax, we feel like what people are going to think, what the person, somebody we live with, what that person is going to say. But actually, your relaxation, your letting go, remember, is equally important to your doing. So if any one of you ever think that when you go to sleep, you're wasting your time, please, you need to understand that your sleep is equally important to your waking up. Yes, you're waking up, you're getting into action, doing your exercise, doing your job is important to have the wealth, to have the life that we want to live. But having a good sleep, a good relaxation helps you to relax, rejuvenate, heal, and prepare your body for the next day. So actually returning back to yourself, creating a little space, little gap, as and when you can. And for me especially, you guys are doing such an amazing job really to care for somebody, to look after somebody and having this amazing opportunity to live, but you must have some self-care, self-love, and don't let yourself get broken down too far. You need to really create that space that you're also giving or allowing some time, some energy to work on yourself. Even if it's like half an hour here, half an hour there, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, creating that space to also live the potential, the life that you have. And if you want to expand it a little further, to me, the fourth point I always see or think about is actually the self-acceptance or self-approval. We all need to learn to approve our own individual self. It's almost like, we like to hear from people how amazing we are. But, I have known so many people, if you say, tell me about you, or how are you? Tell me, what do you think? Our first few sentences, so many people will come up, oh, I'm terrible, I can't sleep, oh, my life is terrible. And then we expect someone else to say how amazing we are. I don't know how many of you have done, but if you ever write the feedback thing that we do for people when they get the job, and or someone say, oh, can you write a bit of review on me? Well, when you're writing a review on somebody, what do we write? We really write about people what we know. And how do we know? Most of it is what people tell us, isn't it? So if I'm telling you all, guys, I practice yoga, I'm a vegetarian, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do this, and someone says, oh, you've been to that workshop, tell me about that man. So most of the time we really give back what information has been given to us. The other part of information, obviously, we like to make things interesting, so we like to spice things up. That's okay, we all do that. Don't need to feel bad about it. So then the other part of that, we spice things up to make it that it belongs to us. And then our own experience, that's also important. Our own experience, it doesn't matter how much I tell you that I'm always happy, but if I'm just looking miserable and talking all the miserable things, then you will know that he just talks about happiness, but there is no true joy there. So this self-acceptance, self-approval, actually creating this new outlook. We all like to think what I don't want to become. Oh, I wish I don't have headache. I wish I don't have back pain. I wish I don't have this. See, the problem with our brain, anything you say, your brain has to conceptualize it to experience the words we put into it. So if you say, oh, I wish if I don't have headache. So your brain has to first create the meaning of what headache means, and then it will try to find the solution. So it's almost like we are creating a problem and then trying to find a solution. And the practice that we really followed is this moving into the positive imagery. To me, that was my theme today, even in our Hatha Yoga practice and the pranayama. We want to go into this new mindset, this new outlook of what we like to become, not what we don't want to become. So to me, the next step is actually creating this positive imagery or the image of yourself and your life. What would you like to become? It's like, sometimes I can really see, if I'm having a bit of debate with the kids and, trying to give them what they don't want to eat. It's such a battle. If we look into what they want to eat and then how we can make that healthy, how we accomplish the health and well-being through the things we like, through the life we want to live or enjoy. And then the fifth one, if you want to add a little bit more on it, it's finding the sense of joy in our life. To me, is the perspective we live in. You see, whatever perspective we have, we see everything through that perspective. In yoga, we have the word drishti. So the drishti is the view or attitude, and the attitude, when you have the right mindset, right attitude, you see everything looking amazing. When you in a really great blissful mind and a happy joyful place, you are so connected with what is right and what is wrong, what should be done, and you're trying to do something and someone comes from behind and said, the way you're trying to do this seems very stupid to me. Now, even though the language the person is using may not be as nice as we like to be, but we see, oh wow, that person is telling me how I should not do it. And we say, thank you very much for letting me know that how stupid I was. So even someone called me stupid, but because I was in a place where I am trying to learn and see what is right for me, I would take it in a positive way. But when I'm caught up into the negative mindset, whatever is going on in my mind, and even if someone walk past and say, hey, you're looking amazing today. The first thing I would like to see, I would like to look into the mirror and see what is wrong with me. Why did that person say it, or what do you want from it? So actually this outlook, this attitude that we live in, it colors everything that we see, everything that we experience. And this is where we talk about the concept of abundance, that when we have the right mindset, the right viewpoint, the right eyes, everything seems to be abundance, everything seems to be a bliss in life. I can share a story and then I will stop so you can all have some question if you got something to ask or add. Again, it's one of the classical Indian story from the Upanishads. So this one of the man, he was riding the horse and he comes to the gate, the entrance of one of the village. And at the entrance, at the gate of the village, this old man is just sitting there and enjoying the sun. And the man on the horse stops there and he said, oh dear old man, can you please tell me what the people in this village like? Are these people very happy, very honest, very loving, caring, or they are very nasty and dishonest people? Now this old man sitting at the gate, he looked at him and he said, it really depends. He said, can you tell me, the village that you have come from, tell me the people, what sort of people like to be there? Now this man from the horse looked at him and said, please don't even remind me of the people from the last village. The minute you ask me to talk about them, my whole skin feels burning. I feel so much anger because they all were so dishonest and this and that. Now the man, the old man sitting there, he just said, I'm really afraid to tell you that the village you're trying to enter, these people are far more worse than the last village. So you might be better off, go and find a better place somewhere else. So the man on the horse didn't even enter, he just turns back and says, I'll find a better place. Now after a little while, there is another family, they came to the same village looking for somewhere to migrate, somewhere to live. And there was a man, his wife and a couple of kids, couple of animals. And they also came to the same gate and stopped there and looked at the man and said, we are looking somewhere to live. Can you please tell us about the people in this village, what they like? Now the old man looked at them and asked them exactly the same question. Tell me about the village, the people that you have left behind, what they were like. Now all of this family looking at this old man said, oh please, the minute you ask us to talk about those people that we left behind, our heart just fulfills with the love, the bliss, and we feel so much emotion that we left them behind. They were so loving, they were such an amazing people. We just left because we wanted to travel and experience something different. So the old man looked at them and said, I think you would not find a better place than this village. Welcome to the village. You can come and stay here as long as you like. Now, the moral in this story that the old man was trying to show us is we see what we are looking for. We see what's inside us. So if your heart is full of love and bliss, there is so much love, so much bliss and joyfulness out there. So to me, that's the last practice, that we live in this positive mindset where we are looking for health, looking for happiness, looking for bliss, friendliness, and this connectedness, and there is abundance of that.